Welcome back to the Red Wings Report with Strings and Pucks. I apologize for the setup today. I'm getting ready for my Sunday live stream on my other channel, but I did want to touch base because for the past few weeks I talk a lot about do or die games where Detroit absolutely has to win or their postseason chances are gone. And I was very clear about the weekend coming up. So they start with a big win against Buffalo, a win they desperately needed. 24 hours later, they completely drop the ball against Philadelphia. Owen Tippett gets a hat trick, and the team lacks the ability to do what they need to do to get into these big games and take them over, especially if they get behind. I just want to get some thoughts because Detroit is still in this race, but the race just got much more narrow. If you're 4 points behind someone, you almost need to forget about it now, because if you're 4 points behind, like Detroit's behind the Bruins right now, right? Detroit has 86 points, the Bruins have 90. So Detroit would have to win 2 games to get to 90, and then you're just tied. So if the Bruins are still winning, they need to lose 2 more games than they win. At this point, I think even 4 points is too much to overcome. But the Red Wings are 1 point outside of the playoffs. They're tied with Ottawa with 86 points, and they have a game in hand on Ottawa. Ottawa loses yesterday. The Columbus Blue Jackets 1 point ahead. Detroit has a point in hand. So this is not over in spite of the loss, which kind of shocks me with 9 games left. So here's how I'm looking at this. We just have to go game by game. I wish I could give you an exact idea of what's going to happen, but Detroit shocks us with a win against Buffalo, then turns around and loses against Philly. Injuries are going to continue to be a factor. They now have to go and try to beat Pittsburgh, but here's the reality. They still need to win 6 of their final 9 games, in my opinion, to even have a shot at this. So if they can close the gap, again, if they can win as much as Columbus does and one more game, they've got 1 game in hand. If they can win that game and then keep pace with Columbus, they can overtake them. They've got 1 game in hand in Ottawa. So even if the 2 teams win the same amount of games to the end, Detroit's in control there. Everyone is now battling for that final wild card spot. Honestly, Detroit, Ottawa, Columbus, they're all hovering around that wild card spot. Boston has pulled away, in my opinion. Montreal has pulled away, in my opinion. Buffalo obviously way pulled away. So this is now a 3-team battle for the final wild card spot. Philadelphia, they pulled within 4 points to Detroit, but again, to overcome that 4-point deficit for both Detroit and Ottawa and jump ahead of Columbus, I think you're asking too much in the final stretch, although Philly has that game in hand, so it's not impossible. But I'm really looking at this as a battle for the final wild card spot. Detroit is still alive right now, but they have to win 6 of 9 of their final games. And that loss against Philly really impacted those chances. So very disappointed this morning, but I did want to do a video. I'm trying to keep the channel going while I'm going through a lot of things on the other side of this. Thank you guys for stopping by. Interesting news. I had stupidly released a video about Trey Augustine getting bounced from the postseason with MSU a couple weeks ago when they were just bounced for the Big Ten tournament. Well, now MSU's season is truly over in the postseason, so we're going to get the Trey Augustine drama coming up to see if he'll sign his deal. There's enough time left with Grand Rapids. It'd be great to see him in the rotation down there. But speaking of Grand Rapids, so Detroit loses, Michigan State loses. The Grand Rapids Griffins, I am so grateful for this team this year. Come from behind win. They're down 2-0. They get 2 goals in regulation, win it in overtime. Edward Chalmarks opens the scoring in the 3rd period, seconds after the power play expires. Axel Sandin Pellikka ties it up in the final minutes of the game. ASP now has 3 points in 3 games, 2 goals and an assist. His shot is so fun to watch. I really love seeing him adapt. He's adjusting to North American hockey. I think the time in the NHL really prepared him well for the AHL because he has that extra half a second and he now knows what to do with it. So 2 goals and an assist in 3 games. He ties the game up. Another beautiful shot. I had the goal reel published yesterday. And then in overtime, Eddie Genborg gets his first North American point. He was trying to get the goal, but he gets the puck outside. And Sheldon Dries all alone, makes no mistake. Beautiful shot. The Griffins are almost guaranteed to have home ice advantage all the way until the finals. Providence is just, they're just a little bit ahead of them, but you're running out of time. So the Griffins, because they had such an amazing season, even these last rough stretches haven't affected their ability to secure home ice, at least for the first few rounds. And the team is heating up, and Axel Sandin Pellikka is finding his North American game. Absolutely love watching him play. He needs to put on 10 pounds this summer. He needs to enjoy this time in GR, have a deep playoff run, keep scoring, see if you can get near a point per game pace for the rest of the season. Make a big showing in the playoffs because I just love watching ASP when he's confident and he has the puck. This was a great come-from-behind win for the Griffins. So much fun to watch. And again, like all season long, watching the Griffins has balanced out some of the stresses and strains of what we're dealing with the Red Wings. So, quick summary. The Red Wings, they lose, but because Ottawa also lost and the way the standings are, Detroit is still in this. By losing to Philly, you're keeping Philly barely at arm's length because they have a game in hand and are only 4 points behind. That win would have done a lot for this team right now. They just didn't get it done. But they're still in it. They're still alive with 9 games left, but the odds are very, very difficult. And honestly, I think all but the final wild card spot are completely out of hand right now. Anything you need to get more than 2 points with 9 games left is going to be extremely difficult. Detroit's in it. They just have to win, and they need to go on a win streak. We'll see what they can do. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll hopefully have a more proper 7-Minute Wings tomorrow.